What's up, boys and girls? It's your boy Money Mark, and we back again. Okay, I'm so happy you could join me. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. Okay, so you guys are glad you're here. All right, so welcome to another rousing edition of the Money Mark channel with your boy Money Mark. All right, so deck up. All right, now we got a great show for you today. Okay, so let's get right down to it. All right. Today is going to be, if you haven't guessed the theme, this is going to be about the history of the National Basketball Association video games. Okay, mostly going to be focusing on the newer series. Mostly 2K are going to be focusing on that. All right, but we're going to get you talk about a little bit of the history of basketball games throughout the season. Some licensed by NBA, some not licensed by NBA, some kind of cool games. All right, so why don't we get down to it? All right, so NBA basketball. All right, invented by Dr. James Naismith. Okay, thank you very much, sir, for inventing this wonderful game of basketball. Okay, whereas the very first game. The score of the very first game was 2-0 because they used a peach basket, and it took them all day. By the time they got the peach basket out, they had to get a ladder. There was no hole at the bottom of the basket, so I was like, maybe we should do that. Cut a hole in the bottom of the basket. So, so they took them all day to climb up the ladder and retrieve the ball back. So the score of the very first basketball game was 2-0. All right. So, there you go. Now, basketball games. Okay, so there we go. Like everybody has. I'm not gonna focus. I don't know if there probably was some on like Atari and Magnavox and Odyssey or whatever. But we're gonna start with the original Nintendo Entertainment System. Okay, so my favorite, one of my favorite basketball games that was on there. This is my brother's favorite actually. It was. I don't have it here, but I have it somewhere else. I don't feel like fishing it out. It was Double Dribble. Okay, this was one of the very first basketball games for their original Nintendo. All right, this one did not feature licensed players. Okay, it was just random players. Okay, did not feature licensed players. Okay, so that was that. That was it, and that was that. All right, so and then after that, it was another game. On a classics made by Acclaim, Arch Rivals. This one was also had the colors, but also was not sponsored by the NBA. All right, so you can take a look right there. All right, it's Arch Rivals. Okay, so that was that one. All right, so those were the titles on the original Nintendo. Okay, just to highlight a few of the one that stuck out in my mind. All right, for not licensed for basketball. All right, I don't know what the first officially licensed game was. If you know, hit me in the comments. Do you thought fizzle? All right, but I do know that the next series that came, this was around 91 and 92, right when the Genesis came out. Because I had from Nintendo, I didn't have a Super Nintendo. I only got one a couple years ago. I had Sega Genesis, which let's all face it, Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Alright, the Genesis was better than Super Nintendo. I don't want to hear it. If you don't at me, come at me. Alright, don't at me. Alright, so Sega Genesis was better than Super Nintendo. Alright, there, I said it. No, I didn't. Hashtag yes, I did. Alright, so there we go. Alright, but let's see. This is a so let's see what we got over here. It was Lakers versus Celtics. All right. So, and this was one of the very first ones. Lakers versus Celtics and the NBA playoffs. Okay. So this is before Jordan was like, oh my God, I'm the greatest player alive. Which no, you are not. All right. King James is the greatest basketball player of all time. All right. Well, if you want, that's what I think. I mean, that's who I think is my vote for the greatest player. But the greatest official player of all time, because he has the most titles, it's what all you babies are going about, is Bill Russell with 13 titles. So if you're going by titles, Bill Russell's the greatest basketball player of all time. holla back. Back to the show. All right, so Lakers versus Celtics in the NBA playoffs for Sega Genesis. All right, so this one was officially licensed for the Genesis. Okay, so had teams and everything. All the team, you see the old school teams on there. Yeah. Okay, personally playing the Seattle Supersonics. Okay, you know, rest in peace to the Seattle Supersonics. Hopefully they'll come back. Come on, Sonics. Come on, come back. All right. The Storm can't be the only basketball team in Seattle. All right, come on now. All right. So there, and then we had. Then there was after that. Okay. So then there was also after that when Lakers versus Celtics. There was Bulls versus Blazers. All right, and, you know, and that's when Michael Jordan started getting everybody's like, oh my God, it's Michael Jordan. Oh my God, yeah. You know, so this was the next in the series. All right, and they came out with a just to highlight some of them. I don't have them all, but there was a bunch of series. Okay, so right over here. Now, if you notice, this one, it's a little company who made the people who made Lakers versus Celtics. The little company called Electronic Arts. Okay, so they were still Electronic Arts. The games came in paper sleeves. So I don't, like I said, I don't have any right here. I've got to track them down, but they were. This is the box one that I have. All right, that I managed to dig out. Now, with Electronic Arts. Now, because they were Electronic Arts, now people were catching on, and they were EA Sports. It's in the game, but it was not in the game. They didn't say that back then. That came a lot later. All right, so this was right here: Bulls versus Blazers, updated rosters in the NBA playoffs. Okay, still with the Sonics. Okay, rest in peace to the Seattle Sonics, Supersonics. Okay, so it's Bulls versus Blazers. Okay, EA Sport. That's when EA Sports started. They stopped going like, oh, we're just Electronic Arts, and now we're EA Sports. Okay, so that's that. All right. Now, next to that this was 1994. All right. Acclaim, not to be outdone, was like, hey, you know what? We had arch rivals. Why don't we come out with another basketball game? All right, a little-known game by the name of, oh yeah, NBA Jam. All right, you know it, you love it, NBA Jam. Okay, this is the second edition, well, tournament edition. All right, because apparently in the arcade you can take like crazy shots. You can take like those little stars appear. You have like a 6 point, 8 point, 10 points. You shoot from downtown. It was dope. It had a bigger roster of characters. It was awesome. It was also in the arcades. The original got released first. Okay, original NBA Jam. It was to much fanfare. I loved it. I loved playing as Bill Clinton. Okay, so dope. All right. And over here, Michael Jordan, be the whining ass prima donna little bitch that he is, didn't show him enough money, all right, to be in this game. So he was like, I want some money, please give me some money. He's like, you want me to be in your game? It's gonna, you got to break me off that cheddar, homie. Like Randy Moss said, straight cash, homie. All right, let me get them ducats though. All right. So, whiny ass prima donna Michael Jordan wasn't making enough money, so he didn't authorize NBA Jam to Acclaim to put his likeness in the game. All right, because they didn't show him enough money. Okay, and also, Barkley and Shaq either, but they were less gracious about it. It was just like Acclaim gave him a figure. They're like, no, thank you. And that was it. But, Jordan, oh my God, that's not enough money, you're insulting me, wah! Being like the crybaby bitch that Jordan is. Okay, so, but there you go. So, this game, people saying they're hidden characters. I mean, I personally like playing as Bill Clinton and the Phoenix Suns Gorilla and Hillary. I don't care, and as Martians or whatever, but hey, I don't care. All right, so yeah, but yo, Barkley's thing was I just hit Barkley's thing was he has a conflict. It wasn't that they didn't show him enough money. Barkley had his own game, Shut Up and Jam. All right, and it was a conflict of interest. Okay, otherwise, I'm sure Sir Charles would have, lended his likeness to NBA Jam. I would have loved to be, playing with Charles, and Sir Charles and the Feeding Sons Gorilla. Tell me how awesome that would have been. All right. So Barkley was not in it because not of contract disputes, of conflict of interest. Okay, he had his Shut Up and Jam series. All right, and Shaq also had his Shaq Fu series. They don't want to experience that. Okay, but Shaq Fu is way better than Chaos in the Windy City. All right, so there you go. I said it. All right, so there we go. This is NBA Jam. This is 1994, or yeah, the original came out in 94, 93, I think. Yeah, this is 94. All right, so I think the original Jam, the other Jam, came out in 92, 93. I don't know. I have it somewhere. Let me look at it. All right, so this is NBA. Welcome to NBA Jam. All right, they've since been beating a dead horse with this. I cannot play the new versions of NBA Jam. They're so damn hard. All right, the arcade version is like, oh my god, NBA, oh my god, he's on fire. It's way too hard. I just can't. All right, I can't with this game. All right, so I can only 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I can't even. See what I did there? All right. So next we have this right here is what we going with. All right. So next we have here NBA Showdown 1994. All right, featuring Patrick Ewing, the greatest Knicks player to play in a finals but never won a title. Okay, so I'm pretty sure everybody else like Willis Reed and Dave DeBusschere and Clyde DeGlad, those guys won titles. All right, Patrick Ewing is the greatest Knicks player to play in the finals twice and never win. So now this is the EA Sports again. This is the unofficial first. This is the game in the white cover, made by EA Sports, officially licensed by the NBA. All right, NBA Showdown. Okay, this was the beginning of big things to come, way big things to come. All right, so really big things to come. Okay, so really big things. All right, so this right here was the beginning of, you can see there, of course, Bulls and Knicks. I think this is like one of the playoff games. All right, so maybe this is the 1994 playoffs when Jordan retired, thankfully, and the playoffs, and then the Knicks took care of the Bulls easily took care of the Bulls. All right, but unfortunately, they weren't so lucky in the finals because they ran into Houston Rockets. So yeah. But yeah, and this is NBA Showdown 94. Okay, so there it is. Now, Sega. All right, now this was for the Sega Genesis system, but Sega company also made games. Now, not to be outdone. All right, they're like, hey, you know what? If EA is getting up on this, we can get up on this too. Okay, so Sega Sports came out with all new NBA Action 95. Okay, to be honest with you, I don't know if there was any other games in this series. All right, I don't. There might have been. I might have seen them online or in that digital press. Looking through the bargain bins. All right, of this game, and this is one of the very first games that had coming out with the paper cover. All right, and Genesis along the side. This is the new like a style for the Genesis games. Paper box and slip cover, cartridge inside, instruction book underneath. All right, for those new first home games for Sega. All right, and this probably officially some game for Sega. All right, so and this was starring David Robinson, Now I don't know if it was his game or I don't know, but this was it right here. Okay, so all 27 teams. Wow. All right, so this was that. So Sega was like, EA, move over. We got this. All right, so Sega would put this. I think they would go with this and put it on the back burner. All right, but Sega would have less left. We'll talk about that later on. All right, so right over here, got you going right over there. So this is NBA Action 95. All right, David Robinson. Now, EA was like, you know what? Sega Sports is trying to take our turf. All right, they're trying to run up in our business. All right, we ain't having that. So, going off the hugely success of NBA Showdown 1994, what's the next year? 1995. Bam! The birth of NBA Live. Okay, not live, alright? Live. Okay, this was the very first, this is that started it all. This is the game that started it all. Alright, NBA Live. Alright, 95. Okay, this is the game that started it all. Okay, EA Sports is like, hey, we're in the game now. This is our turf. We're Electronic Arts. We're EA Sports. We're here to stay. Sega, you can't take our turf. Sega, acclaim, everybody, you can't take our turf. Alright, so, NBA Live 95. Okay, now, this isn't really an NBA Live video, so I don't have all of the NBA Lives. I'm just going to highlight them. Alright, so, that's that right here. Alright, so, NBA Live 95. Alright, as you can probably see, this is the 1994, because the games come out before. So this could Live 95, this came out in 94. Alright, so this was the very first game in the series, and there's also a look at, familiar, the 1994 NBA Finals. As you can see, Robert Horry trying to go for a shot, trying to block John Starks. Okay, Robert Horry has 8 titles, been in the playoffs every year of his career. Okay, so Robert Horry is better than Michael Jordan because he has more titles. That's your logic, not mine. So, this is it right here. NBA Live 95. The first one. Bam! Alright, now, it was such a huge success. Alright, that they went on to come out with different titles. Alright, this is just on the highlight for the original PlayStation. EA Sports, NBA Live. Okay, so there we go. That's your boy Mitch Richmond, little journeyman, Mitch Richmond. Okay, so there we go. All right, this is Live 97. All right, so I think this was one of my favorite Live titles. All right, because the cover was kind of dope, and it was the first Live that, see Live 95 has a bunch of players on there. Right, 96, I think maybe had somebody on there, but that I know I'm certain of. 97 was the first I featured a singular player on there. All right, so, and they'll take it and run from there. All right, so your boy Mitch Richmond, he was on the Kings back then, on 97. All right, so that was it. All right, and then NBA Live 98, 99, then NBA Live, and then NBA Live 2000, and then around, let's see, September 9th, 1999, 9/9/99, a little system known as the Dreamcast came out, okay, to much fanfare. Alright, I think it was one of the greatest systems of all time, or not the greatest system of all time, but it was way ahead of its time. Alright, so they came out with the release of the Dreamcast. There was released, of course, basketball games, and Sega on the Dreamcast. So they came out with their own first-party titles, and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you might have heard of it. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. You've heard of it? What's it called? What's it called? Oh, this is what it's called. Boom. NBA 2K. Alright, so there it is. Alright. Had a sticker cover, so that's why I didn't take it out. Alright, so there it is. NBA 2K. Alright, now, this game in the series was one of the major players in the series. Alright, so Iverson was doing his thing. Alright, so that's right there. You look at it, Iverson doing his thing. Alright, so there we go. Iverson, getting down with his bad self. Alright, so he was definitely a bad man. He's definitely a bad man. Alright, so NBA 2K. There we go. Alright, so NBA 2K. Then, as a matter of fact, we've run out of time, so stay tuned for part 2 coming soon.